Hey there, this is John with Heroes and Legends, and welcome to this week's edition of Magic the Gathering Market Watch. And we're going to take a look at the standard and modern market in particular, see if there's been any impact from the spoilers of Magic Origins on the market. But first, before we get started, I do want to say big thanks to all the subscribers out there. We have just hit 500 subscribers, which is amazing. I can't believe I actually only started doing this channel 5.5 months ago. It hasn't even been 6 months yet, and I cannot believe I have 500 subscribers. That's incredible. Thank you all for subscribing, for watching these videos. I mean, honestly, this is just something I've done for fun because I enjoy the hobby and I enjoy collecting the cards, and it's just fun for me. And it's just humbling that there's so many people that listen to what I have to say about Magic the Gathering and card market and collectibles and spoilers and all the videos we do, the pack openings and all that stuff. So, hey, thank you. I can't say enough really to thank you all for being a part of this with me. And my plan is I want to do a little 500 subscriber celebration video and open up a box of Modern Masters 2015. So I will be filming that today and get that out as soon as possible. So hopefully I'll be able to post that tomorrow if all goes well. And that's the plan anyway. And yeah, so having said that, let's jump into the Market Watch. And we'll start with Standard. And I'm a little surprised, you'll see as we get going, that there hasn't been as much of an impact on some of the Theros cards as I thought maybe there would be with all these Enchantment Matters cards in Magic Origins. However, it might still be a little early, so I guess we'll see maybe next week more of an impact. But let's see what standard cards have lost value this week. Number 5 is Mana Confluence, and it's down 49 cents to 9.36. You're going to see there's not a whole lot of big dips or lifts in standard. Everything stayed pretty constant. Mana Confluence came down a little bit. It's going to be rotating out of standard, and that's simply why. But this is a card that will see modern play as well, so don't feel like you need to sell all your Mana Confluences. This will start to trend upward again as it gets longer and longer from the time that was printed. Dragonlord Atarka lost 54 cents down to 10.38. And he just saw a recent bump, and I think it's just stabilization. I think about $10 is probably a fair price for this card. It's probably where it's going to stay as long as it doesn't end up in a deck that's super dominant. So I think this is just kind of normal stabilization. Next is Nisa Worldwaker. She's been dropping pretty dramatically now for a few weeks, but she was up there. I mean, at one point she was like a $50 card. Now that's going back about a year from when she came out, but she's down to $12.90, dropped another 56 cents. She was decent in standard for a short period of time, but I don't really think there's a lot of hope for her in any of the other formats, and that's why we're seeing the drop as she's leaving standard now. If you haven't sold your extra copies yet, this might be a good time to do so if you're looking to do it. Stormbreath Dragon, and here's another card that kind of is following the same fate. It's taken a big hit over the last 3 weeks. It's down to $6.62, losing another 73 cents. And I think it's just the feeling that it hasn't found a niche in Modern in a really strong deck. So people are kind of giving up hope on it. They're selling it as it's rotating out of standard. But it is a strong card. I wouldn't be completely shocked if it didn't at some point show up in a deck in Modern and start to go up again. So if you want Stormbreath Dragons, it's probably not a bad time to buy them. If not now, probably over the course of the next month or two, this price could continue to drop. And number 1 for the week is Dragonlord Ojutai, and he's down to $19.09. He lost another 77 cents. He was just super hyped after the Pro Tour. He was like in every deck. He went up to like $40. He's just coming down to normal range. More and more of these are being opened every day. So the good news is he's at least quasi-affordable now at under $20. If you're looking for play sets, if you're looking for copies, I don't think this is a horrible price to pick him up at. He'll probably drop a little more, maybe get down to a $15, $16 card, but he probably still is the strongest Dragon Lord. I don't expect him to drop too much farther. Now let's look at the top 5 cards that have gained value in Standard this week, and the first one is Keranos, God of Storms. And here's a rare example of a card that's going to be rotating out of Standard that's gone up in price. It's gone up 33 cents, $9.41, and I think simply it's just a good card. It has potential to see modern play, it has potential in Commander, and it could be, this might be one of those cards that may also be speculated on based on some of the cards in Magic Origins. So, yeah, decent card. I think this is maybe one of the stronger of the gods. Next is Tasigur, the Golden Fang. Tasigur is a fantastic card, and it is seeing tons of play. I mean, it's seen in Standard, it's seen in Modern. He's just showing up everywhere. He's showing up in cubes. He's been added to the Vintage Cube on Magic Online. If you haven't played that yet, yeah, get this guy while he's $8. Because here's the deal: he's going to keep going up. Now he might dip a little bit when he rotates out of Standard, which is still quite a ways away, mind you. By that point, who knows what his value will be? But this is just going to be a long-term Modern staple. I mean, a lot of people compare him to Tarmogoyf because you can get him out early with Delve, and he's a 4/5, and he's got an extra ability tacked on top of it, which is actually a very good ability. This guy's great. He's gone up another 32 cents. Buy him now. Get your play sets. Don't miss out. BioBlight saw a little increase of 46 cents, bringing it up to $1.69. And again, here's a card that's leaving rotation. However, this is a very good card that will continue to see play. This sees modern play. So it's one of those standard cards that you can feel good in investing in. And it's an uncommon. It's only $1.69 right now, but don't be surprised if a year from now, 2 years from now, this is one of those uncommons that we're talking about. That why don't they reprint this? Next is Monastery Mentor, and this card is very powerful, and it took a little while for people to kind of figure it out and I guess feel comfortable putting it in Legacy and Vintage decks, but it's happening now. It's showing up in Eternal formats. This is going to be one of those cards that's going to keep going up in value. Again, 1450 is probably a steal. It's gone up 51 cents this week. Pick these up now. I think this is only going to get worse, and it's not going to get much better when it does finally rotate out of Standard. It's just going to become one of those eternal staples. And our number one standard card of the week is Collected Company. Surprise, surprise. So this is huge in Modern. It's huge in Standard. It's not going anywhere. And now that we've seen all the Magic Origins spoilers, there's elves, there's goblins, there's these tribal creatures that are going to be added to both the modern and the standard environment. This card even becomes more desirable, and I think because of those spoilers, that's why we're seeing even more of an increase of 72 cents this week, bringing it up to $16.93. Again, buy this card. If you haven't gotten your playsets yet, get them right now. This is only going to get worse. This card is going to get out of control. This could be a few years from now the card that we're talking about being a mythic in Modern Masters 2018 or whatever, and everyone's going to want a copy of. So pick up Collected Company now. All right, let's talk about Modern. Let's look at the top 5 cards that lost value this week. Number 5 is Cavern of Souls, and it lost $1.35. It's $47.75. I don't know. I think this is just fluctuation. I think you'll notice that there's a lot of cards that are coming down in price that maybe were a little overhyped when they were not reprinted in Modern Masters, or the feeling that it's going to be a while before they finally do get a Modern Masters reprint because they weren't in a set that was eligible, for example, Evason Restored in this case. So they all of a sudden kind of leapt up, and now I think they're just stabilizing. Don't feel like you need to go out and sell your Cavern of Souls or anything. This card is a powerhouse. It's going to continue to be a staple, and it's going to go up. So, yeah, okay, it's $47 today. Give it a few months, and it's easily going to break 50 sooner than later. Gilt-Leaf Palace. So this lost $1.37. It went down to $11. Again, it was just a lot of hype a few weeks back with the Elf deck because it had done so well in the Pro Tour, and a lot of people were trying to deck list this deck, and the hype's just starting to wane now, so that's why you're seeing it kind of fall back to probably where it should be. It's not going to fall too much further, I don't think. If you don't have these lands and you want to play the Elf deck, yeah, pick them up now. I think $11 is probably a good price for a card like this, and it's only going to get worse, especially as we get some more elves, and I see things like Shaman of the Pack might make this Elf deck even better, believe it or not. Next is Snapcaster Mage, and Same thing. Snapcaster saw huge speculation a few weeks ago. It just jumped in price. It's actually, even though it lost $1.56, it's still at $81. That's insane. So yeah, don't worry about this card. Snapcaster is going to be just fine. Don't worry about selling your Snapcasters. And as a matter of fact, if you need them, you're probably not going to do much better than 80 bucks. Unfortunately, we've gotten to that point. So I hate to say it, but if you need them, you might have to bite the bullet on this one. Number 2 is Grove of the Burn Willows, and this lost $7.31, but it's still at $58.29. Again, there was just a whole lot of hype. We're coming off the Pro Tour hype that was going on a few weeks ago, and some of these cards that got a little overpriced are starting to come back down, and that's what you're seeing here with Grove. Grove was not reprinted in Modern Masters. It shows up in a fair amount of modern decks here and there. People panicked. The price went up, and now it's just stabilizing. But still, it's still a $60 card. I mean, that's crazy. If you need Grove of the Burn Willows, I mean, there's hopefully an opportunity for them to reprint this in the future, hopefully before the next Modern Masters, but who knows? This could go up quite a bit before it gets a reprint. And our number 1 card that dropped this week is Horizon Canopy. So exact same story as Grove. This one's $65, but it did drop $8.15 this week. Again, a lot of hype when this thing wasn't showing up in Modern Masters 2015. People panicked, the price went up, now everyone's kind of calming back down again. Again, it's probably going to drop a little more before it stabilizes, but it's still going to stay up in the $60 range easily. Now let's look at the top 5 modern cards that have gained value this week, and number 5 is Goblin Guide. Now this one is on the move. Here's the story here, $34.70. It's gone up $1.65, but there's a lot of reasons this is going to keep going up. The first one was it was not reprinted in Modern Masters, which was a big shock. I think everybody thought this card was going to be there, and then it wasn't. Now, Zendikar is coming out, so that means one of two things. One, this card may have some great synergies with Zendikar, which is going to, again, push it to a higher level. However, there is some speculation that this card might be reprinted in Battle to Zendikar or the subsequent set. Now, that makes it a little bit of a risk to go out there and purchase these at this point. Having said that, another big driver is going to be the fact that Goblin Pile Driver, no pun intended, is showing up now thanks to Magic Origins, and it's going to be in the modern format. People definitely want to play Goblin Guide with Goblin Pile Driver so you can fill in the blanks and understand why this card is going to go up. So here's what's going to happen. This thing is going to go up, and it's going to go up at a pretty good rate between now until we start getting closer to Battle for Zendikar. If it turns out that this card is being reprinted, then it's going to drop, and it's probably going to drop pretty significantly. If it's not reprinted, this thing's going to keep going through the roof. So this one's a little bit dangerous. This is some speculation on this one. If you need Goblin Guide, I would say picking it up at $35 is probably going to be a decent deal, at least for the time being. But understand that there's a chance if this thing gets reprinted in Battle for Zendikar, it could go down again. And if it's at the rare slot, it could go down significantly. So this one's definitely a risk. Warren Instigator. So all the things I just said about the last card, you can just repeat right here. Basically, exact same story. $19.12. It went up $1.67. People are putting together this pile driver deck in Modern, and they're pulling together all the best goblins. Again, if this guy makes an appearance in Battle for Zendikar or the next set, that's going to be kind of sad. But he was a mythic the first time around. He could stand a reason that he'd be a mythic when he's reprinted. So that won't hurt his value as much if he stays at the mythic level, but you never know. And I don't know, this one I think has less of a chance of being reprinted than Goblin Guide, quite honestly, just my speculation. Number 3 is Ether Vial. So this was reprinted originally in the first Modern Masters, and at that time the card wasn't worth all that much. I think it was maybe $8-10 card. It wasn't uncommon when it was printed in the Meriden block, so there were still a lot of copies floating around. It also showed up in a From the Vault, so there were copies a few years back. Well, here we are today. It did not get reprinted in the new Modern Masters. So this thing's just been creeping up, creeping up, creeping up. This is probably only going to get worse. So if you need your ether vials, unfortunately, you may have to bite the bullet and pick them up at 40 bucks, because I think this is going to keep on climbing. Again, some of this increase has to do with cards like Goblin Pile Driver and Shaman of the Pack that just look like amazing cards for Modern in Magic Origins. Now, if they don't pan out, that might stop the climb of Ether Vial, but for the most part, Ether Vial is a fine card. Even without those new cards, it's still going to be a fine card. Number 2 is Black Cleave Cliffs. And a couple things going on here. First off, I think the main reason this card's going up, it's $15.48. It increased $2.23. This is, again, speculation around the Goblin deck. Black and red are the Goblin colors. Goblin Pile Driver is going to come along with Rabble Master and Rock Modern, so people are getting their dual lands together. So those black-red dual lands are seeing some increases. Now, the Scars dual lands are a good example of dual lands that they've never been reprinted, and they're starting to get a little bit old now. So watch out for these. Not just this version, but all the color combinations of these type of lands. They're going to see increases. They're going to keep climbing up there. These could be our next big dual lands that are very pricey. And this one, yeah, it's already up to around 16 bucks. And number 1 this week is Arcbound Ravager. And this saw quite a climb. The original Darksteel version saw the biggest increase of $12.86, bringing it to $42.81. And the Modern Masters version increased $10.45, bringing it to $44.99. Basically, the story is Infinity has been doing very well in Modern. A lot of people are trying to put together that deck. This is the key component of it. It's hard to reprint this card. You might be waiting till the next Modern Masters, and even then, who knows? If they don't really feel modular really works, or they're not doing an affinity thing or anything like that, it just might not make it. So this is going to be one that I think you're going to have to pay for if you want copies of it. And I hate to say it, $50 is just a lot of money for this card, I feel like, but I think that's where we're at right now. So having said all that, I don't know if that was good news or bad news. A lot of big increases in Modern. Standard's pretty stable, but Modern has definitely seen some big increases this week, and just seems like that's the story every week in Modern, and it's cards all different colors from all different decks from all across the board. So anyway, hey, thanks as always for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe, and have a great day. Hey, thanks as always for watching. If you're still looking for quality Magic the Gathering videos, click on one of these annotations. And if you hadn't had a chance yet to subscribe, smash that subscribe button so you don't miss any of the breaking MTG news, spoilers, set reviews, crazy product openings, or gameplay videos on Heroes and Legends MTG. Talk to you again soon, and have a great day.